Absolute chaos at the Aviva. A record amount of cards for an international game. And while Springboks got the result, you have to commend Ireland on their performance here. Discipline, yes, not the best, but effort and guts and bala shown from this Irish team to be a man down for 50 minutes of the game up against the number one team in the world, the best team in the world in the Springboks, to be competitive throughout the game, put in that type of effort. Unreal. You have to give credit to Ireland, but like I said, did not get the result. Springboks come away with the win, the unofficial winners of the Autumn Nations series. And this game it had everything. It had everything. There was drama, there was tries scored, there was even more drama, a lot to talk about. Irish fans, Springbok fans, what did you guys think of the game? Who was your man of the match? Who played well? Who didn't? What did you think of the performance? Let me know in the comments. Hit that subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get into it. We'll stay on Ireland first, home team first. Man, wow. Was not expecting this at all. The whole Autumn Nation series, it's been the Springboks getting red cards and yellow cards and playing with men down and facing adversity. Ireland's turn this time round. 5 cards, 1 20-minute red card, and 4 yellow cards. That is wild. 50 minutes of the game, you're playing with a man down. There was at one point, there were 12 players on the field. That is crazy. And to still think that against any team is an uphill battle. That against any team is an uphill slog. You're carrying buckets and buckets of cement uphill, and it's tough. But then to do that against the Springboks and to still be competitive throughout the game, in the second half, Springboks only scored 5 points. To come out in the second half, being that many players down, up against it, they still go and outscore the Springboks in the second half. There was that many times that Springboks were pumping Ireland's line. They were going at it. Ireland just kept turning up, getting the turnovers, making massive defensive efforts. Crowley saved 2 tries by himself at the back. Paddy McCarthy had a turnover at one point. Cian Prendergast had a turnover at one point. And while Ireland's discipline, definitely not something to be proud of, definitely an area for concern, and that was because of the pressure they were put under. While that was not something to be proud of, the effort they put in this game, that's something to be proud of. As an Irish fan, you would be immensely proud of that. And the crowd showed every instance throughout the game where Ireland got a turnover or they got a little half break or just something massive happened, that Irish crowd went like the decimals, how loud it was. I'm in Australia and I could feel that. So again, while they disciplined, and that was not good at all. And again, it was off the back of massive pressure applied onto them from the Springboks. The effort they put in, this Irish team put in throughout the game here, unreal. You go down to 12 men at one point of the game against the best team in the world, and you can still turn up and make efforts like they did, put in effort like they did. Outstanding. You have to commend them. You have to give credit to them there, but also credit to the Springboks for putting them under so much pressure. Holy. Did love a confident start for Ireland early on, finding space out wide, going to shift the ball and playing out wide. Prendergast throwing a few passes over the top. James Lowe finding space. Yes, kicking it, but showed the intention early on to play with the ball. Early opportunities they had, but got turned over by Jasper Wiese at one point. Thomas de Toy turned it over at one point as well. And the flow of the game in that first 15 minutes, unreal. Just 2 elite rugby teams, rugby nations going at it. And it was from start to finish, there was just always something happening. I felt in this game. Line out was an issue early on, either not straight or Springboks disrupting. But then I think it turned around later on in the game where Ireland were then disrupting Springboks line out. Tyke Byrne gets his try disallowed because of James Ryan shocking clean out at a ruck. A yellow card upgraded to a red card. One of the most shocking clean outs at a ruck I have seen in a very long time. No need, like Marks was nowhere near the ball. Flies in. If you're looking for a tucked arm, that's a tucked arm right there. Shoulder to chin, takes Marks out, like total unnecessary. I don't think there's intent. We talk about intention. I don't think no one is going in to intentionally take someone's head off, right? But that's the closest you're going to get to it. That was unnecessary and very, very shocking. That was. But how it was handled, I think, is perfect. A yellow card for an off-field review. Let the TMO or the off-field review committee, whoever that is, let them take their time to make an informed decision, right? That's how it all should happen. And it came back. It was always a illegal play, so mitigation can't come into it. Yellow card upgraded to a 20-minute red card. And I think we can all agree on that because that was a shocking clean out there, or technique of clean out at least. I think also Sasha Feinberg and Gumuzulu can count his lucky stars because that was also a tuck shoulder and no attempt to wrap, a shocking attempt at a tackle, and he got away with one there. For sure, I think. Shoulder into Tommy O'Brien, it's high chest, neck, chin area. Very poor attempt at a tackle there. So I think Sasha was very lucky to only get a penalty there. I almost think, you almost wonder, because of what's happened the past 2 weeks to the Springboks with regards to cards, are referees subconsciously thinking about that and the backlash that then could occur after that? That's just a thought. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that's exactly what's happening, but that's just a thought. And then, like I said, for Ireland to go 50 minutes of the game, a man down, and to still compete how they did, unreal effort from Irish. Yes, discipline, not good, but effort, 10 out of 10. Discipline, 0 out of 10 or -1 out of 10, but effort, 11, 10 out of 10. Huge ballas, huge balls, huge effort shown from Ireland to score just before halftime. 13 man down, sticking it to the box, being physical, being direct. Archie getting over, or Josh Van der Fleer first getting over that vantage line, then Archie getting over that vantage line. So that's a 1-2 punch there. Ruck speed, real quick. Then Gibson Parker's got his options, comes back down the blind side, and Sheehan goes over to score. And that's a massive play for Ireland to stay in the game just before halftime. And then the cards just kept going. And it was chaos. It was chaos, but you love it. Again, the director of rugby, of this season of rugby, you've done really well, mate, because there's drama galore. There's so much to talk about. And oh man, so going into the halftime at 7-19 to the Springboks, right? Ireland are down by half the squad is almost off the field, right? And to still outscore the Springboks in the second half, that's what? Yes, it's only by 1 point, right? But you're up against it. 5 cards, and then one of them is a red. So 50 minutes of the game, you're playing a man down. I don't know how many times I've said that now, but just to emphasize the effort from this Irish team. Unreal. As a proud rugby nation, what other rugby team will go down to 12 men at one point of the game up against the best team in the world and still be competitive like they were in this game? Unreal. And they outscored the Springboks in the second half. A inspirational effort from this Irish team. Again, didn't get the result, but you have to commend them on that. While I can be critical of the Springbok team, I do believe that they are the best team to ever play the sport. And yes, that includes the All Blacks 2011 to 2015 team. The Springbok team, outstanding. They go this year away from home, beat Ireland, beat France away from home, beat the All Blacks away from home, faced adversity with red cards, with yellow cards, playing man down against all odds. Whatever comes in their way, they find ways to overcome it and win games because, man, they know how to win games. 16 penalties conceded by the 60-minute mark, 6 of them coming from scrums, 18 penalties conceded by the end of the game. So again, I'm hounding on it, but discipline was not good. But effort, unreal effort. Irish fans, what did you guys think of that? Jumping over to the Springboks, man, yes, they get the result. But you'd say a lot of points left out on the field. Played against 12 men or played against a man down for 50 minutes of the game, outscored in the second half and only ended up winning by 11 points. Okay, that sounds doom and gloom, but that is the facts of the performance or the facts of the game there. A ton of opportunities in that second half to score points Springboks had, but couldn't. Just hounding that Irish line, phase after phase after phase after phase, but just couldn't get over the line. Massive effort from Irish defensively there. But to start it off, like, Springboks come out firing, man. That first opportunity they get, Gaza scores in the corner. Lovely finish in the corner there. Left hand jumping over, gets up, celebrates, shushes the crowd, kisses the crowd as well. Absolutely love that. Started off with a break in the midfield from Damien Dallander. Quick ruck speed, options at the line, lovely drawn pass from the forwards involved there as well. And Gaza goes over to score. Sasha Feinberg kicking to touch, not his best in this game. There was a lot of times where Springboks weren't clinical as well. They were doing a lot of their moves, but then just shifting across field, then ending up getting tackled out or kicking the ball and it going out. So not necessarily going forward first and then shifting out wide. Boanfenta's try disallowed from a forward pass, so 2 tries or a try apiece disallowed in this game. But Springboks scrum, man, caused 6 penalties against Ireland because of the Springboks' dominant scrum. That scrum is it's the best in the world. 100% it is. You would hate to pack up against that Springbok scrum. Wilco Low is, as Stephen Kitsoff says, he's 3 meters wide. Thomas Atoy on the other side. Boanfente is a unit as well. Oh, man. And then before halftime, the Springboks go bang, bang. Pressure. Reinach goes over untouched. Yellow card to Sam Prendergast. Then they come down again, get a penalty try with a yellow card just before halftime. So they take that to 7-19 going into the break. They come out firing in that second half. They got a midfield scrum. Sasha Feinberg running at the line with the ball in 2 hands. That is deadly. Good luck trying to stop that. Carves through, goes over untouched. And this is the start of it, right? The start of that second half where Ireland are under the pump. Springboks have got all the momentum. Ireland are players down and going to be players down for a long period of that second half. But Springboks just can't. That was all the points they scored. They only scored 5 points in the second half. So many opportunities hounding that Irish line, but just can't get over the line. And that, again, that's a massive effort, defensive effort from Ireland. And just not your best effort from Springboks, especially in that second half. Only scoring 5 points against a depleted Irish team. Ireland outscored Springboks in the second half. Ireland scored 6 points in that second half. There's not much else you can say. There's not much else you can say for the Springboks in the second half because they only scored 5 points and that 5 points was really early on. They put Ireland under a ton of pressure, but that pressure did not turn into points. It turned into penalties. It turned into yellow cards for Ireland, but it didn't turn into points. And that's what you want. You want to turn pressure into points. But Springboks couldn't do that in the second half. Their first half efforts or the first half tries, the first half points they put on the board was enough to win the game here. Massive efforts across the board from Ireland. Springboks, while they got the result, yes, they got the result, but we can all agree, not their most clinical performance. A lot of opportunities that went begging, a lot of opportunities where they should have scored points, they should have scored tries, and they just didn't. But they came away with the result, and that's what matters at the end of the day. Whatever can happen for the 80 minutes, if you get the result, no matter if it's by 1 point or by 11 points, you get the win, you get the W, and you get the bragging rights. Rassie gets his first win as an international coach at Dublin at the Aviva. And that's what Springboks wanted. Everything could have happened, all that drama, all of that happened throughout the game, but Springboks came away with the result. A huge effort from Ireland, though, nonetheless, because, man, that is an effort to be proud of. An effort to be proud of, but discipline not to be proud of at all. What if they had half the amount of yellow cards? What if? But also, if pigs could fly, would we need planes? So the what ifs don't matter. Springboks come away with the result. Ireland, a proud effort, not a proud discipline effort. What did you guys think? Springboks fans, Irish fans, what did you think of this game? Let me know in the comments. Hit that subscribe if you haven't already. And I'll see you next time. Bye.